All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Principal Cairo broadcast from DE and Band of Brothers. I'm Dr. Brian Moriarty, your esteemed MC for tonight's exciting call with Dr. Alex Rubin. But before we get to that, we have got some incredible announcements about DE. There's a DE intensive coming up at Sherman College. August 29th. So I guess that's a week from this weekend. So next weekend. Let's just call it next weekend. That's easier. 10 to 1, 2 to 7 at Sherman College. A lot of fantastic speakers. Go to lifede.com if you want to check that out. Get that one at a very affordable rate. That is Saturday, August 29th, 10 to 1, 2 to 7 at the Gilardi Student Center. Upcoming, what else we got? DE. There we go. There are upcoming DEs, the regular DEs. October, it would be our next one, Atlanta Marriott Perimeter Center. So you got about 2 months on that one. So time to get those travel plans. Get your flights early if you're flying in. I heard flights are getting a little pricey. So get them early. Don't wait till the last minute. Um, get your hotel, get registered. We got that. Then in the winter, we're back in Atlanta, January 28th to the 31st, before some springtime 2027. Sheridan Sand Key Resort, Clearwater Beach, Florida, right on the Gulf of Mexico, April 15th to the 18th. Go to lifede.com to get registered and see all the great information. We'd love to have you there. Any other announcements? Oh yeah, be a member. Yeah, if you're not a member yet, listen, save some money, become a member. Be proud to be a member of Dynamic Essentials. $129 a month, so it comes out smoothly. So it's not like a big hit every 3-4 months. It comes out monthly, which is great. Associate rate half that. You get access to all the recordings as well from past DEs. Go to lifede.com, sign up, become a member of that. I've been a member for many, many years. It's a great way to go. So you can check that out. And anything else we got? Connect groups, maybe? There we go. And there's your connect groups there. What team are you on? Blue, yellow, orange, purple. Connect with your brothers and sisters in chiropractic and at Dynamic Essentials in between meetings. If you're not yet in a connect group, contact Kat and she will get you placed into one. So there we go. Big day here in Florida, as it is Tuesday, August. What do we got? The 18th, I think, is today. Election day. I voted, so it was election day here in the state of Florida, as we did our primary voting, and so it was a big day. As I'm on the school board down here, and I was not up for election this time. I'm up in 2 years, but three of my other fellow school board members were up tonight, and so that was an interesting thing. And our governor's race, so we got some interesting elections here in Florida. I think Alaska was also election night as well. So if we have anybody tuning in from there, hopefully you are enjoying your results. Anyway, for today's speaker, man, this guy is just a rising star in the chiropractic profession. Started coming to DE as a kid. He was with this good little crew of guys that has continued to come. I remember him coming to visit me at my office and coming to a chamber after hours with me, and we were just clowning around, having an awesome time. And then he graduated, opened up his practice up there in Pennsylvania, and is just rocking it, just growing, growing, growing. His sister's in the office with him, and it's really incredible to see the progress that this guy is on and the trajectory, because he is just an awesome, awesome dude, full of the principle, and I'm excited to see how things progress for him. So, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, let's give it up for my man, Dr. Alex Rubin. Love and appreciate you, brother. Take it away.
What's going on there, everybody? Thank you for tuning in tonight. I know it's 9 o'clock here on a Tuesday, and you all probably had a really long day at work in the office. But I'm excited for those that connected in to be able to hear a couple of things that maybe I had to say tonight that maybe it benefits you in some way, or maybe it just helps me reflect on, like Brian said, my growth, the changes that have happened in my life, all the different things that have happened. And typically I like to, even whether it's here, whether it's on stage, it's always starting with like an attitude of gratitude. And I'm just incredibly thankful for not just my sister being in the office, but I'm also thankful for Dr. Sarah, who is our lead chiropractor in the office. She's a total badass. My wife, who's sitting somewhere here on the couch behind me, and all of my mentors at DE, some of my best friends. Thinking about that a little bit, I also was just thinking about this last DE, which was really amazing. If you weren't there, you missed out. But there's always the next one, and you can always live stream it if you're on membership, which would be great. And that's also a really cool membership because it has a special place for me because it always reminds me of it's for Dr. Tim Langley. And so ever since the membership became offered, it was the first thing I did as a fresh chiropractor, or something just really great to be able to incorporate and work in. But in terms of like some other stuff that I've got here going on from the last DE that I really like, that these photos just keep popping up. But I've got this really cool picture that I got from the back room there. If you didn't get a chance to look at the photos of the last DE, you guys missed out. I got this one. This is Dr. Sid and Didi Umber, and lucky for you get to see this is a 101 piece autographed by Didi Umber. They were at this French restaurant in Montreal. What did we say? Back in, I don't know, back in the day, back in like the 70s or in the 80s. And they met up with some French chiropractors in this restaurant. They have this pig that comes around on a cart. And so Dr. Sid was holding the pig's tail, and Didi got to feed the pig a bottle, which I thought was really cool. And I got this other one right here, which is really great. And that's just a classic photo of Dr. Sid as he's getting ready to go in and do his talks as well. And the reason I like to, kind of keep those pictures around here as well is just that by having those, that always helps me, stay grounded, stay anchored to what it is that I have to do, and everything that it is that we have to accomplish each and every single day. So I didn't have a ton of time to prepare for this talk, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I've got a couple good things that I think you guys are going to really enjoy that I came up with after work. And it's been like a really long day. It's been a long week. It's been a long month. I keep thinking about, I got back from Spain after my wedding with my wife, now wife, probably, I don't know, just before the last Eid, like July 12th or 13th. And one of the coolest things, I guess, with that is that, like, you get off the plane on a Wednesday, you're all jet lagged, you're exhausted, you're tired. And then my sister's like, oh, I scheduled you for a health talk Thursday morning before you go into the office. Okay, well, like, do I really want to do this health talk? Do I not want to do this health talk? Is it something? And it's like, you know what? I need to be a good example for, my associate in the office. I got to be a good example for the other chiropractors around me. Shout out to Casey Berry. I still owe you a phone call, buddy. I'm sorry that I have not chatted with you a little bit more. Again, it's been a crazy month. I've only been home for about 5 weeks, and now we're getting ready to leave again tomorrow. But it was just one of those things that really brought me back to DE, because DE is all about making sure that we're prepared in any situation. You get into an elevator with somebody and they ask you about something, or they've got a kink in their neck, or they're walking kind of funny. Do you open your mouth? Do you not open your mouth? Do you do something? Do you not do something? Are you prepared? And if you're prepared, are you going to take action on that? And are you going to be able to rise to the occasion that's there in front of you? And so thinking about my very first day back, I did a health talk, and now the last day before I leave tomorrow, besides serving in the office in the morning, is doing this call. And, I might have been giving my wife a little bit of a hard time because she kind of pressured me into doing it when we were at DE, even though I knew we were going to have a lot of different stuff going on. But at the same time, I got to pressure Dr. Sarah. You've got her coming up here in a couple of weeks, and you've got Dr. Felipe coming up in a couple of weeks as well. And so keep an eye out. Make sure you tune in for them if you can. I think they're going to give some really excellent talks, because that's what we get prepared for at DE: long days and sleepless nights. And we rise to the occasion to make it happen. So when I was going through my preparation for this talk, I just kind of I'm literally packing and moving out of our current apartment today. Tomorrow is the final day, so I'm going to move some stuff after this call here tonight. But I've been packing stuff into the boxes for the last 24 hours or so. So going through some of my old books, and it was kind of cool because I've got a lot that from when Dr. Sid's estate sale had happened after one of the DEs. I grabbed a couple of his books, and the stamps inside of the book say from the personal collection of Dr. Sid E. Williams. And one of the other things that I came across was my old yellow legal pad, which I really love. And I keep all these old pads. I can't throw them away. There's just too much meat and potatoes, in all of it. But this is from when I first opened up my practice, like maybe the month before or a couple days before we opened up through that. And that was back in August 2019. So now we're in August 2026, which means that we've officially had our 7-year birthday within our practice. We've seen some crazy and amazing growth. Just like really amazing to go back and like look at some of these numbers and see where we were to where we are now. Our old space into our new space, being a solo doc office to now having this team really wrapped around us, and also just like the certainty that has come in the last 7 years, not only just from like serving the people, but also from continually attending DE on a regular basis and making sure that we're there, making sure we're learning, making sure we're shedding the hustle, making sure we're growing, and making sure we're getting better each and every single day, even if it's just, a little bit better. But a little bit better each and every single day is going to lead to you being really amazing over many, many years. And I'm so thankful for that. I think I started coming to DE probably right around when Brian actually started coming, although he graduated a bit before me. Maybe had a little bit more experience before that, but it transitioned into some other things. And now it's been like, I don't know, we started chiropractic school back in 2013, 2014. So it's been like 11 years, 12 years of me coming to DE, which is just like a crazy thing. And really, I haven't missed a DE pretty much until like this last one, because we were getting married and had a lot of different celebrations and a couple of different really big life events happening. And I might go into those here in just a couple of minutes. But I want to come back to this yellow legal pad, and I was just talk about something that I thought was really cool in this. And it talks about the office in 2019, 7 years later. So back in August 2019, I came across like my cash log, like the petty cash log, like how much collections we had. And, one of the things that was pretty interesting was that, again, thanks to DE, overhead low is my other piece of advice for any new grads or anybody that hasn't opened yet. Try to keep your overhead low. Leaves a lot more room for you later on in order to expand and improve your business and allow you to do much more different things. But our very first month in August 2019, we collected $1,800, which was pretty much the exact flat amount that it cost us for our overhead. I think it was like $1,500 in rent, probably $100 in electric, $100 in gas, and then probably $100 in like EHR. Doesn't mean I made any money that month, but the business, just going in and taking care of, the people and doing it the right way from a principled standpoint with like love and with passion and with certainty that I'd already had, luckily, because I'd done a lot of preparation while I was a student leading up to when we finally opened up. But we broke even on our overhead. So that was like a great thing, and I remember my sister and I, when we first started, it wasn't really like we weren't paying ourselves. We were just trying to work to put money back into the business to be able to build a really stable baseline up until the point where we could then finally push forward and succeed. And again, it's not about money in particular. That's just one of the things that popped up in this, but it's just something I thought was kind of cool just to kind of like reference because it was something that had popped up. So then in September, the second month that we were open, we collected $5,000. And then in our third month open, we collected $6,700. Right. And so it just shows like progressive growth going on. But then there was like also some other things that were going on with it. And one of the things that was really cool when I was like looking at this like cash log of money in October 2019 is that I came across my like what the spending was in. And one of the things that I spent money on was $495 for a couple nights at the Embassy Suites in Atlanta for DE. And that was the very first and the last time that I believe my very first time sleeping in that hotel. Because that's the hotel that I was in as a student, where I really got DE into me, where I got chiropractic into me, was at that hotel. And my wife and I, wasn't not my wife then, was not my girlfriend then. But her and I drove all the way down from Philadelphia, closed the office for a couple of days, drove down to Atlanta, stayed at that hotel for, a couple nights, had an amazing DE. And it was really important for me to be there for that and stay there, because it was like the first time as a doc that I actually got to stay at that hotel. So the very last DE that was at that hotel, I think was that October 2019. And I think then we ended up moving over to a different hotel after that point. But for me, that place was really special just because it was kind of like everything came full circle. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I'm like thinking about 7 years later, like the start and the finish. There's just a lot of things that are very cyclical that are coming around, and all the changes and all the different things that end up happening. And then again, 7 years later, I now she's my wife. Didn't specifically start at DE, but started 7 years ago at DE when I was really on that chiropractic journey, and here we are. So one of the things I really liked at the last DE also, and not just because it was part of our wedding, but I really liked that Paul Roses posted a photograph of like a bunch of the DE chiropractors that were at our wedding. And it was all of my best friends, like we got Dr. Anthony, we got Dr. Joe, we got Dr. Evan, we got significant others, we got everyone, Dr. Danny, like everybody, was there. And I think about it because so my wife and I spend quite a bit of time in the south of Spain, in that city where the wedding took place, because that's where she's from and where her parents are at. And there's not a single chiropractor in that entire city. I struggle my time that I'm there because I can't actually get myself adjusted. So I'm working on making sure I try to teach her how to adjust me so I can get myself checked and clear. But either way, there's not a single chiropractor there. So whenever I'm there, I feel like I'm the only chiropractor in this entire city. And granted, maybe I'm only taking care of our family, and I'm not talking about opening up future offices and things like that or anything like that. It's just a really interesting perspective on the entire thing that I like to like visualize and think about. And then I think about that photograph with all the chiropractors at our wedding in Granada, and I think about how we didn't just have one of the best chiropractors in the world. We had a huge group. We had like 20 of the greatest chiropractors that have ever existed right there in Granada, in this city that has never probably seen 20 chiropractors in it at one time. And it was like such a powerful thing to think about, like, wow, what if we opened up 20 offices and we stuck one of these powerful chiropractors in each office? You take over a whole city, which how much does that, transpire into taking control through chiropractic for the entire state or the entire country, and these types of things, and the opportunity for expansion. So I just thought that was just like a really like cool perspective, especially when I think about like Dr. Tim, who I know we talked about again earlier, but he would always say, "You're the best darn chiropractor this side east of the Mississippi River. Maybe this side north of the Mason-Dixon line," or something along those lines. And I think about this one and I'm like, man, that was the greatest group of chiropractors that's ever existed this side east of the Atlantic, and this part south of, I don't know, Madrid or whatever other city, south of Cordoba, in Spain. And it's just like a really cool thing because all of these chiropractors were bred at DE, at Dynamic Essentials. And without the combined success of that group wouldn't be anything like it is. So we have so much thanks to give to DE for putting us in that position and making sure we were trained and prepared, so that way we could do that health talk on the day that we were really tired or busy or jet lagged or whatever it is, or do that talk after a long day of work while moving and packing and preparing, making sure you're taking care of each and every step. So then I just want to talk about something else that I thought was really, really cool as well. And it was actually how the last DE, I was at, the one before that I had missed. Florida DE. And I actually had to turn down the opportunity to be able to speak at that DE, which is, such a, hard. It was honestly the first time I've ever actually had to turn it down, but it was because I was not in the country. And it was like kind of sad at the same time, but also like just very like, again, everything's coming full circle, because I think back to, that's where my first time I ever got to speak on stage was at a Sarasota DE. And so like, it's always that April DE is always like a really amazing one. But we were in Spain. My wife is pregnant. We found out she was pregnant. So we're going through everything. We're doing all of our final wedding preparations. And so we just had like too much other stuff that was going on right now, and it wasn't able to make that happen. So then I tried to fill the gap for DE in an interesting way, which was that I went to Cairo, Europe, which was right around the same time. And of course, Cairo, Europe is not Dynamic Essentials. It is not DE. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I feel like I didn't necessarily get, like for them, for the European chiropractors and the chiropractors that aren't as close and blessed as we are to be this close to DE and this seminar, it's like a really good opportunity for them to be around, like-minded, volume-driven chiropractors But personally, I just felt like there was certain gaps within like the connection of the love from some of the leadership and some of the speakers. And that's just something that like you can't duplicate. Like I get it at D. I always have it at D. It's in me. I love it so much. So like for me, then I was like thinking, I was like, oh, like, am I going to get anything from this seminar or do I enjoy it? But there's always something that you can get, even if like, maybe it's making a new friend or seeing what you've got going on. So then I started thinking about what this one chiropractor had said, which was that Dr. Sid said the exact same thing at 100 DEs. Every single Thursday, he would always say, go and break bread with the pack, right? Help each other synchronize with your brothers and sisters. And I thought about that because the best part about actually being at Chiro Europe for me wasn't necessarily the seminar itself. It was the fact that I got to share 3 meals a day with new groups of chiropractors, and I got to make some friends, and I got to connect with them and see where they're at in their office in a different country with different rules and different outlooks, but like still so much like love and principle within those chiropractors. And one of my favorite groups that I got to, really get in contact with, while I was at Chiro Europe that I was, having multiple meals with after a while was this group of French chiropractors. And it was like Sebastian and his buddies that, and Sebastian's been to D a couple times. So he's already told a couple of these French chiropractors, like, you guys got to make sure you get there. Obviously I told them the same thing, but I'm sitting there hanging out with these guys and just like talking to them. And we're just like talking volume, or we're talking shop, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And then, you find out this guy's, got pretty high volume for what he knows. And that high volume is maybe like 150 a week. And this guy's high volume is 175. And then the other guy's high volume is 100, right? But for us, like, it was ingrained 500 a week, 500 a week, 500 a week. Like, how big can we get this thing? How many people can we possibly see? How many people can we possibly take care of? And I think that the guy that was like, the highest volume out of all of them had seen about 250 a week. And he told me, he was like, I see probably the most in the entire country of France. Like, I'm seeing more people each week than most other chiropractors. None even, have that capacity. So when we start telling him we can see 350, 400 a week, he's like, oh my gosh, like, can we get your phone number? Can we like talk? And he's like, there was just so much love and respect for one another because we're both like up here and we're both trying to push each other to get better, which is something that I was really blessed with because all of my friends, when we all opened up practice, the same ones that were at my wedding, we're all here and we're just bouncing each other back. You hit 325, I'm going to try to hit 330. You hit 330, I'm going to try to hit 335. You hit 335, who's going to hit 350 first? And we're just going to push each other going back and forth. So when we get to talk to these French chiropractors, there's just like so much respect. And they're just like, man, you're a total badass. Like, how do you even do that? How do we get better? Like, I don't have anybody around me. This is the only place where I can talk to some people, but I don't have people that are seeing 300, 400 a week around me to find out what kind of things I can start to do and incorporate and change to make my practice grow, to make my practice better, and to improve, what it is that I'm doing. And then, so I thought about how that respect was like incredibly beautiful, but also like, we tend to think that what we do is, maybe small, or what we're doing isn't big enough. Like, maybe you're seeing 400 a week or 200 a week, and that's small, but like, that's still huge, but maybe it's not huge for the chiropractic profession. And so even being there, maybe being able to inspire one of these guys or inspire somebody else in this call here tonight, that helps accelerate things and get everybody up to a level where we can just keep changing the world by offering more and more chiropractic care to each and every single person that comes across that's in our path, and being able to do it with confidence and certainty each and every single time. And then, so one of the other things that I thought was really cool, again, so then my mission kind of shifted a little bit at Chiro Europe, and I was really working on trying to figure out, like a couple of other things. And I was talking to some of the old school chiropractors that were there that maybe used to come to DE back in the day. And can't tell you how many times I've heard from some of these old school chiropractors that like, DE is not what it once was. My days were, I had Reggie and I had Sid and I had Sigafus and I had all these guys. And I'm like, man, DE, like, yeah, like maybe we got different people speaking, but it's the same. Maybe it isn't the same to you because you saw those guys, but to me, that's what it is. And there's so much love, and it's different in some ways, but so powerful in so many ways. And for them, it's kind of like, they might be stuck in a mindset where it's like, even though they could probably provide so much for these future chiropractors or these young students or these young docs to help improve their lives, they're still stuck in this. And maybe there's some of the ego, or maybe there's some of the past that they can't like let go of, to be able to like move on and move forward. So I'm like really excited at the same time to get to, kind of get to chat with these guys more and see where they're at and get to see like how DE has evolved and changed for us over the last couple of years. And for me to still think it's as beautiful as it is, granted, I've never gotten a chance to meet, this man. I've never gotten to meet Dr. Sid, but I've read all of his books. I've listened to his audios. I've seen his YouTube videos. I've listened to those that have learned from him at his feet. And that knowledge is getting passed to me, even though I never got to be there. So how is DE any different? It's exactly the same. It's you got to show up, sit your ass in the room, not leave, and like listen and learn and turn the crank and just like listen and apply the things that you hear there. And most of it is going to start inside, right? It's going to start within you and what is it that you're going through? What is it that you're healing from? And what is it that you're working to achieve? Are you focused on just making more money? Or are you focused on taking care of as many people as you can and having money as a byproduct of that amazing service that you're providing? So I just got a couple of other really funny like little Dr. Sid stories that I want to give, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. It'll be a bit of a shorter chat for me tonight. Instead of taking an hour with you guys, but a couple of the Dr. Sid stories that I had heard while I was at this conference from a couple of these old school docs. I think it was Cliff Hardick, and I was just like, every chance I saw him in the hallway, I would just be like, can you tell me Dr. Sid's story? Can you tell me Dr. Sid's story? Can you tell me Dr. Sid's story that you remember? And so one of the ones that I really liked was the first one. And it was about Dr. Sid at a private luncheon that he hosted. And he had 12 people that he attended or had attend his private luncheon. And so they needed to raise $147,000 for something. I don't know what it was that they had to raise that money for, but they had to raise $147,000 for something. So Dr. Sid, what did he do? He took a hat and he passed it around. And he said, we've got two options, everybody. We can either eat right now, or if we don't fill this hat with $147,000, pull out your checkbooks, then we're going to eat later. And we're going to keep passing the hat around until this hat is full, because we're not leaving this room tonight and we're not getting food until this hat has all the money in it that we need to raise to be able to do what it is we need to do. And again, it was probably something absolutely amazing with Life University. And I know there's a lot of chaos that might be going on between Life West and Life College and, or Life University and all this other stuff. But like, man, like I graduated from Life and I still love my time there, even though like, I'm not saying that, Reekman specifically gave me like the most, Dr. Sid experience on campus, but man, there's a lot of, energy and there's a lot of soul. And I always think about, somebody saying how Dr. Sid said, my soul will never leave this campus. My sweat and tears have salted every corner of this campus. And I think that that's like such an amazing thing to think about, because like I remember going there at a leadership weekend with my grandma and her being like, this is the place you have to be. Like I feel it. Like I really like feel it. And I was like, we didn't even get like to the conference speakers yet. You're just like on campus and you're feeling this energy and you're being driven by innate. And that's where we ended up. So the second little Dr. Sid story that I really like was talking about Dr. Sid hosting like some sort of an event or some sort of a party for the governor race of Cobb County. And he invited, maybe it was like, I don't know if it was like just because Brian was talking about the politics of it tonight. Maybe he had invited the blue side and he invited the red side, right? He invited them both in. And so Dr. Sid apparently walked up and he collected money from everybody that came in. It was like $100 or whatever it was to get in. So he had these two envelopes. He split it perfectly even. So say it was a few $1,000s in each envelope. And he walked up to the governor that was blue, and he walked up to the governor in red, and he handed them the exact same amount of money when they had their chance to take the stage. And he said, don't you guys forget, Cobb County is a big county. Don't forget that Life College supports you. And he said that in front of everybody, right? So like everybody knew. Dr. Sid didn't care. He said it to the Democrats. He said it to the Republicans. He said it to the left. He said it to the right. He gave the same amount of money to both because he knew whoever the winner was, he wanted to make sure that they knew that they were in Cobb County and Life College was in Cobb County and Life College wasn't going anywhere, and that they needed the support and they needed help with whatever it was going to be during that time, whether it was building permits or whatever else it was. They wanted to make sure that they understood that this donation, we support them. And that's playing a little bit of the game of the politics of it, where you're not just supporting one of the sides. Maybe you got to play a little bit on both sides to be able to make sure that it is that you get what you get and make happen what you need to make happen. And I'm sure Brian knows, more about that than 95% of the chiropractic profession, maybe more. And then I just have like this very last story, which like was kind of touching to me when I had heard this one. And this was out of Cliff Hardick as well. And he had said, he was talking about Dr. Sid's funeral, which, again, Dr. Sid had passed before I ever got a chance to get to meet him. I was lucky enough that I got to spend some time with Dr. Nell over at the Life Foundation when I was in school with some of my friends. But apparently at Dr. Sid's funeral, I guess they had 84 white doves that they had released. And these doves were supposed to be released to, like symbolic in terms of peace and transcendence and moving on, and just like for showing how much you've given back to everybody. And so apparently they had all these doves and they put them in this cage, or I don't know if it was multiple cages. And I can't wait to pick DD Umber's brain. I forgot to ask him at the last EE, but they'd opened up the cages, and then all the white doves literally just like sat there. They just like stayed and hung out in the cage. Like they didn't want to fly away. They were just like hanging out and like enjoying the moment, enjoying their time with like the man that like built, like that city that like built so much for the chiropractic profession that put us where we are today. And so then the doves finally left the cages, and then they started flying around supposedly like in the wind, and they just didn't leave. They just kept doing like circles over and over, coming around while all the people are standing below them. And then instead of like flying up and away, they then started flying back in the opposite direction, and they just like hung out there and they just lingered. And, Cliff had said that this was like really cool because this was kind of like a salute to Dr. Sid. This is literally these doves like taking a moment of silence and memory, and just like looking and admiring something that was so beautiful in the energy on this earth that this man had put in, somebody of such power, and what it had done in order to like leave like an amazing place of like remembrance for somebody that was so great. And so I do regret the fact that I didn't get a chance to meet this guy, but I am blessed by the fact that I have so many great mentors and individuals that are there before me that learned from him, and then were able to pass that knowledge and pass these stories on. And it would really suck if they start to get lost. So I just wanted to make sure I gave another place where they might be recorded, and these stories get written down. And if I said anything wrong with that or incorrectly, please correct me the next time I see you in person. And I'm really curious about the full facts about all of that. And I think that's pretty much what I got. Other than I do have one other quote, which I think is kind of funny, that somebody had told me that Reggie Gold had said. And it was Reggie Gold once said that chiropractic is a bit like sex. When it's good, it's wonderful. When it's bad, it's still pretty damn good. And even on this long night after your long day in the office and taking care of people, doing some amazing things, I just want you guys to know that I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the moment that you've given me to just kind of talk to y'all. And feel free to reach out if anybody ever needs anything. I love each and every single one of you. And I hope you guys have a kick-ass week in the office, and you guys keep doing everything that you need to do, and keep serving the people, and keep chiropractic beautiful. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, guys.
This guy sees more people than anyone in the country of France. Dr. Alex Rubin. Great talk, brother. Thank you so much for everything.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, dude, you were on a roll, man. I know you got a lot going on. You're about to head overseas tomorrow, but you definitely found your groove in the middle there, and you were awesome, man. Thank you so much for being on. Third time for you. Third time was a charm for the man, Alex Rubin.
Thanks, Brian. Again, I really appreciate it, and hope to see you soon.
You too, brother. Safe travels tomorrow. Love and appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for being on tonight. We'll see you next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, on the Tuesday night Principal Chiro broadcast from DE and Band of Brothers. Have a great night, guys. God bless.
Thanks, brother. Much love.